In today's video, I'm reviewing a 2011 Ford Explorer. The Ford Explorer was introduced to market in 1991 and is now in its 6th generation. This 2011 model is part of the 5th generation that ran from 2011 to 2019, seeing a minor refresh for the 2016 model year. With the introduction of the 5th generation model, the Explorer, Ford transitioned the vehicle from body-on-frame construction to unibody construction, and as a result, it sees a vast improvement in ride quality, comfort, handling, and fuel economy. It also sees a decrease in tow capacity, and the vehicle is not going to be quite as capable in terms of off-road driving when compared with prior generations of the Explorer. But given that these vehicles are primarily used as family haulers in town, it's probably not going to be quite as important for most buyers. And if you have the need for additional tow capacity or off-road capability, they do have the larger Expedition model available. The Explorer is built on the same platform as the Ford Taurus and the Ford Flex, which originated in the first generation model of the Volvo S80. In addition to that, the chief engineer who oversaw development of this 5th generation Explorer also oversaw the 2005 refresh of the Land Rover Range Rover, and you'll see some similarities in terms of the overall design on this vehicle when compared with Land Rovers from this era. For example, you'll see that the A-pillar, the B-pillar, and the D-pillar are all blacked out. Gives the effect that the roof is floating over the vehicle, just like you'll see in many other Land Rover models. And overall, the styling of the 5th generation Explorer is very good. It's a very attractive SUV, got a very sleek aerodynamic design, very sporty looking, and it also has a very premium edge to it. That refresh they did in 2016 primarily was a facelift on the front end, and I think that further really developed the vehicle and gave it a very good look. Not to say that the early versions don't look good too. See, we got the headlights, 3-bar grille across the front, touch of chrome, just really clean lines throughout the vehicle. Gives it that very premium look. Top, we got the side rails. Notice the chrome door handles and little chrome strips along the bottom of the doors. Really a great looking SUV all around. The Explorer is available in a few different trim packages: the base model, the XLT model, the Limited, and the Sport model. This specific model is the Limited, and with that Limited package we get leather, 20-inch polished aluminum wheels. It's got a rear backup camera, power 3rd row seat, heated and cooled seats, voice activated navigation, power liftgate, active park assist, got those HID headlights I already mentioned, adaptive cruise control and collision warning. 2nd row captain chairs are available, as well as dual pane sunroof, and then also the availability of headrest mounted DVD player. It's also got a really great Sony audio system. Given that this was developed while Ford still owned Land Rover, it's got some really great off-roading features as well. Despite the fact that this isn't a body-on-frame construction, it still has some really cool features. It does come standard in front-wheel drive with available all-wheel drive, but the all-wheel drive system has a variable center multi-disc differential with computer-controlled lock. That system allows for up to 100% of the torque to either the front or rear wheels and a 50-50 torque split from side to side. It's also equipped with hill descent control, hill ascent assist, 4-wheel traction control, and a terrain management system that you can adjust between different terrain modes. The Explorer was actually the best-selling SUV in the US for several years, with sales topping out at 445,000 in 2000 and averaging just over 200,000 a year in the current configuration. Sales actually tumbled to about 55,000 in 2010, several years after the Ford Firestone fiasco, in which Explorers started rolling over due to tire tread separation when overloaded and inadequately inflated. This is actually what brought tire pressure monitoring into almost all vehicles in today's modern world. Now, as a result of that, the Explorer does come heavily loaded with safety features to kind of fend off that reputation that it kind of unfairly earned. As a result, it's got dual front airbags, side impact airbags, rear safety belt airbags, side curtain airbags, torso and rollover protection airbags. It's lights available with blind spot monitoring, with rear cross traffic alert, forward collision warning, and adaptive cruise control. It's got a pre-crash system, auto high beams, roll stability control, electronic stability control, and it's got curve control. So plenty of safety features. Again, very desirable features since these are primarily used as family vehicles. Just as the exterior of the Explorer is very stylish, you'll see looking into the vehicle that it's equally good looking. And especially compared with the prior generation of the Explorer, this is a vast improvement. It's got a nice clean layout with fairly high quality materials, nice color accents, and just overall is a very premium look to it. Especially in this limited configuration, it comes with a lot of standard features and options. You'll see that we've got perforated leather seats that are full power with lumbar support. We've got power windows, door locks, and mirrors, as well as memory settings for up to 3 drivers. Integrated in the mirror, you'll see we've got that blind spot monitoring. Some storage space in the bottom of the door. Just to the left of the steering column, we've got controls for headlights and fog lights. And below that, we've got a button for electronic rear hatch and a tow mode. Jumping in, we've got a smart key, so you can use the key in your pocket to unlock and lock the doors, as well as to start the vehicle. You'll see that the seat is automatically adjusting to my settings. Instrument cluster fires up, and you can see it's got a very modern, techie look to it. To control the left side of the instrument cluster, you can use these controls here to control through some of the various vehicle settings. So we've got fuel economy, trip information, other settings for the vehicle, display mode information, as well as you can see we've got odometer, gas mileage information, and the fuel gauge. In the middle, we've got the speedometer, and then on the right, we've got another screen. We've got entertainment, phone, navigation, climate. That's controlled with the button over on this side, so you can control those settings. One cool thing is that as you scroll through that, the color changes. So very thoughtful design there. In addition to that, you'll see on the left side, we've got cruise control features on the bottom, and then on the right side, we've got Bluetooth and audio controls. Got a 3-spoke steering wheel that's leather wrapped. Got a couple of vents there and a nice large screen that duals as a backup camera. Again, we've got those same settings: phone, navigation, climate, entertainment. Very intuitive system, so you can push on any of those 4 corners to pull up the various screens for controlling all those settings. So you can see here climate control information, for example. We've got heated seat and air conditioned seat for driver and front passenger. Dual zone climate control to control either side independently. In addition to that, you can control the temperature information down below here, as well as audio information here in the middle. So you have kind of dual function between either the screen or buttons, depending on your preference. So overall, it's got a very nice, clean layout to it. Right below all that, you'll see we've got a compartment here with some storage space and some auxiliary inputs and USB ports. In the middle, we've got 2 cup holders. This is that terrain select feature that I mentioned earlier. So we've got normal, mud, sand, and snow modes that we can use, as well as the hill descent control. Center console is fairly spacious with another 12-volt outlet. Also worth noting that we've got a Sony audio system, so it's got really great sound characteristics in the vehicle. Up above here, we have the ability to program up to 3 garage door openers into the vehicle. Compartment here for sunglasses. Jumping into the middle row, you'll see that it's very spacious with good leg and headroom. Got controls here for climate control, as well as a couple 12-volt outlets. Quick view up front. In the middle seat, we've got a fold-down armrest with 2 more cup holders. And I forgot to mention, we got 2 more cup holders down here as well. Doors got another cup holder built in on both sides. And then to fold down these seats, you can pull this lever here, and then we'll pull on this guy. Hard to do with just one hand. But you'll see provides good access to that 3rd row seat. And we'll go ahead and jump in real quick. And you can see that it's actually fairly spacious. So, you know, a little bit on the tight side. I'm 5'10", but I've got a decent amount of leg room here, so definitely usable for an adult. You'll see that we've got some more storage space and cup holder built in here, as well as on that side. Coming around to the back of the Explorer, in the limited configuration, it does have an electronic rear hatch. If you're skeptical of electronic rear hatches, I've got to say I've been very impressed myself with how handy these actually are. They seem like a gimmick, but once you have one, they're actually very handy. If you're coming up to the car with an armful of groceries, makes it very easy to get in without dropping everything. Really impressed with the cargo space in the back of the Explorer. So it's got a lot more than other vehicles within this segment. I tested a lot of vehicles, and typically when you've got a third row seat, you either use the seat or use the cargo space, and you don't really get both. But in the Explorer, there's not really a compromise. You actually get a lot of cargo space even when these are in use. And the main reason for that is that this floor sits down so low. So it gives you a lot of space to stack things. Of course, if you do want to fold those down and increase that cargo space, the Explorer's got a really cool feature for that. I'm really impressed with this system. So we've got a couple controls over here to adjust the modes. So you can fold down the seats, or with the push of a single button, these seats will fold down and stow into place. And I've, again, tested a lot of vehicles, and I've never seen anything quite as impressive as this. Really amazing how these fold down into place electronically. And you'll see with that seat down, vast amount of cargo space. Now, in addition to those folding down very easily, you can push the normal button and they'll fold right back up into place. So a really cool system here. Can't say how much I'm impressed with this. The only thing you do have to do when you electronically fold them back up is pull this little lever to fold the headrest back up into place. Kind of nice that those automatically sit down because they do block visibility in the back if you're not using those seats. But very impressed with cargo space in the back of the Explorer. There were a few different engine options available on the 5th generation Explorer. When it was first introduced in 2011, it came with this 3.5 liter V6, which has 290 horsepower and 255 pound-feet of torque. That's got an EPA rating of 17 miles per gallon in the city and 23 miles per gallon on the highway in all-wheel drive, and has a 0 to 60 time of 7.5 seconds. They also offered a 2-liter turbo with 237 horsepower and 250 pound-feet of torque. EPA rating on that was 20 in the city and 27 on the highway, but the engine was only available in front-wheel drive configuration. That was later replaced with a 2.3-liter 4-cylinder turbo that has an EPA rating of 18 in the city and 25 on the highway, and that was offered on all-wheel drive models. Both of the engines come with a 6-speed automatic transmission, and the max tow capacity is 5,000 pounds. Now, I mentioned that the 5th generation Explorer made a transition from body-on-frame construction to unibody construction, and the result is that the drive is very nice in this vehicle. It's very quiet, it's very comfortable, it's very smooth. It feels a lot more like a luxury vehicle than an SUV, and in a lot of ways it feels a lot more like a German SUV than an American SUV. I feel like with this 5th generation Explorer, it was kind of a turning point with Ford, not only with this vehicle, but kind of a brand as a whole. Around the mid to late 2000s, they just kind of revamped their whole lineup and took things to a new level. And if you've ever ridden in an older Explorer or Expedition, they're a little bit clunky, quality's not really that great, ride quality's not that great, and it's almost like it's a completely different brand riding in the 5th generation Explorer. It's so much nicer. It just has a very premium feel to it. Definitely going to be a great vehicle for family use, for driving around town. Again, it's not going to be as off-road capable and the tow capacity is not as good, but it's still fairly decent for most towing needs. And again, if you have higher towing needs, you can jump up to that Expedition model. But all around, very impressed with the 5th generation Explorer. Drive quality is a vast improvement over prior models, and there's really nothing to complain about. It's got a great powertrain, handling is good, ride quality is good, it's comfortable, it's quiet, and then of course it's got a very premium cabin with lots of luxury features. So that's a review of the 5th generation model of the Ford Explorer. It's ironic that these vehicles topped out in sales in 2000 because today's Explorer is a vastly better vehicle than the Explorers dating back to that era. With today's modern Explorer, it's a very stylish SUV. It's got a very luxurious interior with a lot of available features and options. It's got a great ride quality. It's very comfortable, smooth, good handling. It's spacious, decent fuel economy for its size, and really just all around is a great family SUV. If you have any comments or questions on the Explorer, leave them in the section below. For more car reviews, subscribe to my channel. In the meantime, thanks for watching.